And welcome back, everyone. As promised, we're here with our upcoming matchup Rochester Institute of Technology versus the University of Connecticut. Now, Ocean, before I give you anything, I'm going to let you know that Rochester Institute of Technology is looking to go on a little bit of a win streak here with their second win in a row, while Connecticut is, they did drop last week. So I know UConn's pretty strong. I know RIT's had, some up and down games. What are we looking to see in this one?
Too sure, to be honest. Connecticut have had a rough start after coming back to the spring split. They lost their main player, their star power in their flex split role in Pascal slash Rupal, who is now over in, I think they're ISU now. I think they transferred and also are playing on ISU's Overwatch. They're a very, very talented player, been in contenders for as long as I can remember, to be honest. So I think since late 2020 they've been in contenders. So that was a big hit for them, losing that player going into the spring split. So they're looking to recover, and RIT are on a little bit of good form. So this could be a weird matchup and a good time for RIT to play Connecticut.
Yeah, and UConn, as stated earlier with Max, he looked at them and, they obviously took a win early on in the season and obviously dropping last week's match 1-3, not the greatest, but they are considered one of the stronger teams in the league. And with Rochester having a bit of an upswing as of last week, and they're looking to make it 2 in a row, I could see this being right down to the wire, right? All 5 games, right? Ending on Nepal. I think that would be a relatively decent guess from my end, right? Do you think this will go all 5 games, or you expecting a little bit of a sweep here somewhere?
Oh, I've talked to. I remember interviewing one of the UConn players when they lost RuPaul, and they were like, "Yeah, it really sucks. We're kind of struggling to deal with it." RNC, of course, on an upward swing. I haven't seen that much of RIT. I mean, all I know is that they're coming into form, and if they could keep their form in this game, they could put UConn on the back foot early. Then why? There's no reason this game is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and we're obviously looking, with bated breath to see exactly how they're going to start this Busan off, right? It's really going to, I think, set a lot of the tone for how the maps are going to unfold as we progress further into this series. But yeah, first map going to be Busan. We're going to be looking here again on Sanctuary. It's one of those maps where we saw in our first set, which was a 3-0 for William and Mary. They came out strong and aggressive. Cincinnati did on their Winston Rush. What are you expecting to see out of these comps, right? Even before they pick, what do you think that they should be running, or what do you think's best on this map?
I mean, but both teams who went with Brawl, Nelsie showing the Genji right now. I imagine that's not going to happen. Maybe Tracer. I like your RIT version of Brawl here because if you're facing like a different rush composition or you're facing like Zen Brigade, so like you've got another option. Also, if you're against Farah, you can play a little bit faster and kind of nullify the value that a Farah would get. And yeah, UConn. What I was really impressed with last time they played was your boy Wings played extremely well, as well. So that's a player to watch out for from UConn. But I'm looking at Pines from RIT to get value in the Sombra and build up some of those EMPs.
Yeah, and as the first engagement comes out, we do see UConn sticking with the Genji, so already going to be building up to 25% charge there, get some good poke down. And yeah, the blade could come into a factor as we start now with Seb getting right up in the front line there, putting your boy Wings on notice. I am here, and it's going to be Poppy's Immo going down first as Sam finds a nice pick on the side there, and that is going to be Rochester Institute kind of taking a bit of an L here, and the Genji, surprise, surprise, cleaning up the rest of the kills.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I could give an answer on Nelsie playing the Genji. To be honest, I've watched Nelsie lots of times. I've seen them on Flex before as well. So I think Nelsie's just playing Genji because Nelsie wants to play Genji. To be honest, going into this next team fight, I think it's going to be interesting because RIT are the first the amplification matrix, and that should give them a good advantage at the start of this next team fight. But Connecticut are getting close to some more ultimates, and I'll have them around the middle of the team fight. Nelsie's Dragon Blade being one of them.
Yeah, and with an early window coming out, we are going to see the blade being pulled, and it's going to be going right on the backline, finding Volage right there, not able to have the protection. Hack's going to come through, but a little bit too late as the damage has been done, and just really a nice aggression coming out from Connecticut.
Yep. I like the fact that any mistake there, there's no point. And going into this next team fight, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what I want to expect. I feel like Pines needs to have an early EMP and needs to make sure to catch both sports, because obviously Disguise get thrown on an Immortality field, and Helpful Fox has the Sound Barrier online. So watch the Sombra and the Lucio in particular here. So Pines, a Helpful Fox in the ultimate battle.
Yeah, clear advantage for Connecticut with that coming out. Beat obviously stopped, didn't get caught up by Pines there, so Pines is Pines' EMP, not going to find the value they're looking for, and with that beat, they just push out and wipe the whole team.
Oh, this is a good stagger. Oh,
yeah, and Baby Diva is going to go down, and now UCONN looking towards that one more fight, and they got this wrapped up.
I'm interested to see how both Deadeyes are used. I feel like the one that's used a little bit more aggressively, especially with the Lucio speed boost, is probably going to get a little bit more value. Oh, nice stun!
That is a huge stun, and that's going to put them way back into where they need to be. So Rochester going to have to find a way in without losing any more members. That is going to be crucial, and the High Noon's going to split off the team.
Ooh,
Beat's going to come through. Poppy going to be trying to get to the point with Viz, but Viz is demec'd, and that's Sim just finding the headshots that's needed, and Pine swapping over to the Tracer, just getting to the point. And now it's going to be all about who can win the point battle as Rochester is slowly trying to trickle back into this point. Recall is now out. Blade's going to be pulled, looking for a target, and Ball is the only one left with Blade putting in the damage. And it's going to be Tiz guys wrapping this one up for the team. Connecticut looking pretty strong.
You can't look good there. They look proactive like they did previously a couple weeks ago coming back from the split. It was good from UConn. Yeah, but they looked like they were making good decisions early on. I like the fact that Nelson went for the Blade pretty early, even though they lost their Reinhardt to the Ant Matrix. That was just going to be the natural crash course of that fight, right? RIT is going to have that early Ant Matrix, but we're going to have ultimates mid-fight. Let's make sure, even if we lose one, the Ant Matrix, we use our ultimates to bring a player back and get us back into a team fight. It was good from Nelson in particular. I like the way that UConn are playing right now. I think they are one of the better teams, and RIT's got to play up to them, right? I think there were good patches from RIT and incredibly bad patches, most notably the EMP team fight that, of course, didn't even get the Lucio in a Helpful Fox.
Yeah, I mean, the EMP got quite a few, but, I mean, the beat just kept him alive. No issues there. I mean, that's a huge point for a Helpful Fox, right? Not getting caught out by those ultimates that can really turn the fight. And as I say that, a Helpful Fox is second there on the kill feed, you know, cleaning up and in there with the team. And Nels is building these blades, or Nelsie is building these blades incredibly fast, and it is off the back of the Ryan and Diva just pushing through with the speed boost. You got to say, Connecticut is looking awful strong today.
UConn look good. They're active. They're making really good decisions. Their aggression there was really calculated. They didn't really fully commit to anything unless Aztec or Samo had a good off angle to put that player under pressure and isolate them a little bit. It was good. And now they're the ones, right? UConn with that Matrix at the start of the next team fight.
And I like how they're just pushing through right now. RIT not afraid to get right in the mix of things, push right past that window, and they are going to pick up the first kill as the Immortality field saves most of the members. But the Blade's going to be pulled on really low targets, and it's going to be the cleanup crew or Nelsie and the team on his back. That is an insane play to be able to turn that fight around.
Yeah, this is going to be a late kill onto the Reaper as well. Pines didn't really need to go in there. Not exactly sure what happened, to be honest. And this means that, you know, RIT are kind of in an awkward position right now. Nelsie's just going to be able to farm a little bit. Oh, charge off of them as they rotate. And I wonder if they noticed that Pines isn't with the rest of the team right now. They're really split, RIT. Why are they walking in?
Oh, they were walking in all by themselves, only two out there, and it is Seb that's going to be caught out by the bomb. And now it's all hands on deck to get this retreat off, trying to get back into spawn to reset as a unit. Man, Ocean, RIT seems to be a little bit disjointed right now. They're trying to do things almost like they're on their own.
They look off today. Something doesn't look quite right. And here comes Blizzard, gets eaten. Everything's going wrong for RIT, and everything's coming up Connecticut.
Now Connecticut just gets that eat off, and that is one of the big problems, right? Diva going right to her face without freezing her, and it's Samo and Nels. DPS really shining through, but it's been from the space of the tanks, right? They are just up in their face, giving them no room to breathe.
Slowing things down now. How are RIT going to get into this next team fight? And if they do, how are they going to set up Pines as Death Boss? And that's the main tool that RIT have to work with. Let's see if Pines can get any value on the Reaper.
Yeah, RIT, nice rotation out, saving a lot of their health there.
No,
and it's going to be Pines
nothing.
going in by himself. Didn't even get the help from Viz, trying to get the defense matrix around him, but we got another blade coming in, and the jump was not timed well, as it is going to be the swipe and dice there just getting everybody they want with these Genji blades. Now they're going to be fighting on the point. It's going to be the brawl. And Seb finds that pick on the Genji. So a lot of damage down. Good burst. And it's Samboy. He's just on the side. Nobody contesting right now, but there's not a lot of people to contest as Seb goes down as well. Now it's just going to be a race to try to stall out this point because we are at 99%, and it is UCONN with the advantage, and it does look like the stagger kills are going to be all that's left for the cleanup. And UCONN still looking to end this map as they're just trickling and trickling on. And I think, Ocean, I think we both know this is just kind of all but done and dusted.
Yeah, there's no reason to even touch this, to be honest. This is done. Just nice little shot in the wire. I mean, appreciate the desire to go and try and win a team fight there. It's not going to happen. What we got to look at is why that was so dominant for Connecticut and why RIT are falling short at the moment. I feel like a lot of this is UCONN, you know, they're playing well. You know, they're playing actively. They're doing some good things, right? Big fan of UCONN at the moment. They really did suffer when they lost Powell as a player, but they don't seem to be too disheartened. They're still doing a quick and professional job against RIT. They have been doing that over the course of the spring split. It's been good from them. But I also just want to talk about RIT because I think they're bad. I think they're really bad, specifically on Mecha base, where there was no fight setup whatsoever. They just kind of walked in, sometimes blindly. Like we looked at the Pines as Death Blossom, right? That should be one of your big win conditions, and
Yep.
the rest of the team isn't even in the fight when the Death Blossom's happening. Easily isolated, easily killed off, easily dealt with. That win condition gone. There was also a team fight where we saw the Blizzard get eaten. I mean, there was no setup for that Blizzard. It was just throwing a Blizzard and hoping that the Diva doesn't eat it, or hoping that the rest of the team just doesn't speed on it or use their defensive utility to survive. You got to work towards that Blizzard. You've got to use it in when the team fight either goes from slow to fast or fast to slow. That's when Blizzard's a good ultimate. It just seemed like they weren't setting up for any of their ultimates or even any of their team fights. And RIT look a little bit behind the mark right now.
Yeah, RIT definitely fallen a bit behind, not only, you know, with the gameplay, but in the score, right? We're down 0-1 now, and it's going to be a challenging hill to climb. As we, you know, foreshadowed earlier on, UCONN is one of the better teams in the EGF. So you got to, you know, you got to find your footing, right? I think that has a lot to do with it. It seemed disjointed. It seemed like they couldn't quite keep up the pace, and everything they tried was very individualistic. That's not going to fly. Right, I think we've seen that proven twice now on both maps, or both points, and now we're coming into Numbani, and we got to find ourselves a bit of a window here. You know, get back into this game.
This is a weird one as well, right? Because we could talk about that last map of Maccabeus a lot, but it's not really going to matter here going into the Bonnie, which is a completely different map. You're either going to be playing a poke play style or a dive play style. Both teams looking for some dive. I like Connecticut's attack composition, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Look at the defense here for RIT. They've got a nice setup. I quite like it. You've got a standard front line of kind of your Tracer and your Winston, potentially your Diva if you really want to commit that. I think you've kind of got a mid grind of your Mercy and your Pharah and your Ana.
Right.
So Mercy, Pharah, and your Diva as well. You could do a lot with that. Your Mercy is going to be with your Pharah a lot of the time, but your Mercy is also going to be with your Ana and Diva in the backline. Viz has got a challenging job here because Viz has to balance a lot here. When do I go in with Pint and Seb, and when do I defend Stormite on the Ana? That sort of thing. It's going to be really difficult for Viz to get that balance, and I'm curious to see if they can get anywhere close to it, because I mean, you're not going to be able to do all of these things in one team fight. It's a question of what do you value, your offensive presence or your defensive presence for that team fight, and it might be your defensive presence considering Nelsie is on the Genji once more.
Yeah, Nelsie being on the Genji and Sam being on the Tracer, it puts your team in an interesting spot, Rochester, where you have a distinct advantage with your air superiority, but that does leave your ground a little bit exposed as we see the initiation coming through for UCONN and Sam dropping dangerously low as your boy Wings needs to drop down for some healing, and this double bubble comp going to be trying to get that high ground advantage as we see, there it is, your boy Wings going right in. Not going to be knocked off, but does find the pick, and that's a high value trade, but Foil is going to be able to find the trade back onto the Tracer, trying to stop the res. Doesn't quite stop it as the Storm, she's back into the game. And that first tick, though, does go for UCONN, as it's Genji trying to poke out, gonna get Pines. That's pretty big, right? Tracer being off the board, a lot of damage down. Gonna be on Seb and Viz to try to start this up again.
Nano
As the
just
Nano
went off
Boost
as well.
is out. Yep, and Seb's gonna go down. Both Nano Boosts are now gonna be online. I don't know if Helpful Fox is gonna pull it out here, as the team fight does seem to be going in the favor of UCONN as they get the point.
Alright, he just used their nano boost on the baby diva there in a last attempt to contest, and they were nowhere near contesting, so it was a bit weird. Good kill into your boy Wings. That's an important kill, because what that means is that UCONN can't really go and take space on the rest of this point, because Enzdark's going to be either easily isolated by the Pharah, by like a boop or whatever. Doesn't really matter what isolates them. They are going to be easily isolated on the Pharah, and also, other than the Tracer, the Winston is the main engagement tool, right? So Connecticut can't really engage until they come back, and that allows RIT to take a little bit of space on point B.
Yeah, your boy Wings going in with this blade, but the Pharah finding two. Both supports are down, so your boy Wings and the DPS got to get something done here, as we see Derek going down on the backside. And it does look like they are stabilizing just a little bit. The trades are still coming in, and it does seem to be favoring Rochester now, as they are starting to find the picks they need to find. As I say that, Pines goes down, and your boy Wings, they're doing a great job without these supports being in the line of fire. And there it is. They are going to be able to take this fight as Anna shows back up. And they didn't have to burn very much for that at all, just the Nano Blade.
Oh, it was good. It was a sharp team fight from Connecticut. I feel like that's kind of what I would describe them as. They're a sharper team. Their setups are better. You know, they're reacting to their opponent's plays extremely well. They're adapting well. They're making good decisions in an instant as well. And they're going to have to make a good decision with their next team fight, because they have a rally. They could engage aggressively with that, or postpone Graviton Surge as well. So if they can set up this Graviton Surge by annoying Viz on the Diva, that's probably the way to go for Connecticut.
Yeah, and Viz has to be very vigilant here, right? You know the pulse bomb's coming. Good dodge out there. Gonna be a little bit of a miss, but the Viz is gonna send the Diva Bomb. Not gonna find anything right there. Still needs to be looking for that Graviton. As I say that, it does come out, and that's gonna be a lot of damage put in from the Genji. The Nano Blade is online right now. Not gonna be used though. I think they know they have this team fight won. Just going to be a lot of stalling. We do see the rally being popped just to keep everyone healthy for the last little push here, and it's probably going to be them using it on the retake, as we see RIT trying to set back up. Zeb getting poked down to half, but the Nano Boost is online, so Zeb has an option to jump on in. Pines also with the Pulse Bomb online. So we got to see how they use it. Pines going to be dropping the Pulse Bomb early. Nice Nano Blade going to be coming in, getting the support right away as she goes down, and it's everyone else following suit, as no one is left untouched. Mercy and Farah still in the sky, as Zarya and Genji still poking away. Not quite won yet though. Rochester Institute really still keeping this alive. As I say that though, 4 minutes on the time bank. Ocean, not sure about how that last fight went down.
Do you think Connecticut have just been really good today? I think RIT map 1, they were really sloppy, they weren't really setting things up too well. But I also think Connecticut have been really sharp on that. I think they've been really good. On point A, I do think that they could have been a little bit more patient with their hard engagement onto the Honor at the back. I mean, they got the kill onto the Honor, but I reckon you could have potentially waited until Nano Boost was online. You could have had a little bit more ult charge. That might have been a slightly better approach, but they got the team fight done. On point B, they had a really good Nano Blade where they set it up with the bubble. They forced players of RIT back, and then they used the Nano Blade, and that was good. And they won that really tight team fight even after I think they lost both supports to the Barrage as well. And of course, they set up the Nano Blade on point C. They set up Graviton Surge on point C well. It's just good setup play from Connecticut, or at least a lot better than RIT's. I think that's the main difference. RIT are not setting up any of their plays. I think they have a fight plan. They just don't know how to get value out of those different ultimates in those team fights.
Yeah, and I think the value's being kind of lost from Derek, right? When they're on the Diva, doing a great job of getting these eats off, eating up any ults that are coming out, as opposed to on, Rochester's side, they just kind of run straight at the mech, and they're kind of forcing what they want done. So Viz obviously got Graviton while remeching, kind of tragic. But to your point, the setup, they waited for that, and UCONN sees the opportunity and they take it.
What?
And the pin, Doing a bit of trolling. Doing a bit of trolling right there as Derek finds the early pin. Might be coming back on D.Va. Might have just done that for a
Yeah,
little.
no, Ezek's coming back on D.Va. And I
Yep.
actually think that's worked, right? Because this
Yep.
D.Va's going to be back in the team fight before a Helpful Fox is on the Honor. I'm sorry, not a Helpful
Yep.
Fox, Stormeye on the Honor. And that's important as well because that limits the amount of Nano Boost charge that they can get. And Nano is one of the main win conditions on Numbani.
And I love little setup plays like that, right? They're so fun, and they're actually really interesting when they get pulled off like that. And already back, so you were right. They had to wait. Rochester had to wait for the Ana to come back, and now it's just going to be pure aggression as the dive comes through. Nels leading the front line.
Nelsy.
Probably not a great time to do that, as no one was there to protect or help get him out. And now we're seeing Connecticut a bit on the back foot as both DPS are going down, and this is RIT's chance to take this point clean. They just have to keep it steady, nice and slow. Let Echo finish off a lot of these kills. Good sticky bombs, trying to find the kill. And it's just going to be, you know, a bit of a duel. And the Ana wins, and a Helpful Fox is going to find it. But that doesn't stop the point
The
progression.
Rake test this. They got both tanks back.
Absolutely. The both tanks are coming back. And now it's time to find this Ana out. And it's a little bit slower. It does look like they're not going to recontest. They're going to let them have it, Ocean. Nope.
Oh, weird. They have both tanks back. And if they went in, wow, I think it was Booze going for the Honor in the backline. That could have been a neat timing, and they probably could have got a couple of picks back, Connecticut, but no, don't want to risk it. Got to play on this corner as well, because that's the place to play a Winston on this map. Keep notes, Cincinnati.
Ooh, Foiler is going to be found out by that D.Va bomb as Derek finds the pick, and Nels is going to be fine. Oh my goodness, the eat again. I mean, Derek doing a great job now. I mean, the boy Wings and Derek have just been absolutely on fire all of these games so far, and now they have a tough challenge ahead of them. Rochester does, of just jumping in as a team and getting Viz some value on this D.Va bomb. Initiation's going to come up in on the top. Not going to find a ton of value just as of yet. Both rallies are already taken off. Poppy got theirs off a little bit later. And the High Noon going to be looking for some picks. Does find Foliage on the jump out. And your boy Wings with the Mega Monkey going to be finding Storm. She goes down. And it's University of Connecticut slowly but surely winning this fight out. Just whittling them down in front of their spawn doors.
You know what's weird about how Connecticut just won that team? They didn't even invest Nano. They used Deadeye and Primal, I guess, for that space instead. But Unity just thought just use Nano base, but just a different approach to it. I guess they have Nano for that next team fight. RIT building up to a lot of ultimates. If they could get an early pick here, and kind of waste UCONN's Nano, and then win the next team fight, they've got a lot of ultimates to potentially just go all the way through point B.
Yeah, and this is a good time, right? Now you got 3 tanks on the field. Foliage is going to be trying to use the monkey in order to make some space for everyone else. They are just brawling it out on the point, and here it comes. Foliage with the Mega Monkey. Going to try to get big value out of this. Trying to make space for Seb. Seb also prop to Primal. Trying to get all they can, and it does look like the Echo duplicate is going to be enough as they finally break this chokehold that Connecticut had, and the card is going to be a rolling.
Let's go. RIT, that was a really good team fight. Probably the best team fight RIT have played all series long, right? That they nullified the value out of a Helpful Fox's Nano Boost, and then they got value of their own duplicate. They still have Nano for the next team fight, RIT, as well as a self-destruct. You can you can use the potentially like a self-destruct and then create space for your Nano Boosted Winston. That's what I would do personally if I was RIT, but you've got some options here, and a couple more options than Connecticut have.
Yeah, and just for this fight especially, it's going to be Connecticut with a little bit of an unfair advantage as far as ult goes, as the D.Va Bomb is going to find Storm. Storm goes down there. That's pretty fat. Now it's going to be the other D.Va Bomb in response. Does end up finding Sam, so the trade of D.Va Bombs. But in the end, Seb also goes down from the damage from that bomb. No bubble was available, and now the hunt is on, looking for Pines and Foliage, just trying to stop any chance for RIT to come back in that fight. Now Ocean, they're again stuck in Streets phase as your boy Wings finds the pick on Pines, and I don't think they're gonna push it on that yet.
One thing that was really weird to me in that team fight, I'm really shocked that Viz didn't use that self-destruct before Dirk did. I don't know why Connecticut had so much time to set up that team fight there and get onto high ground. Surely RIT should have been on that high ground. Surely they should have had an Nano Boost to Winston in that room or a self-destruct, and actually just not made it so easy for Connecticut to get involved in that team fight, but they did. And
Yeah,
now they've
and
got to do the
right
hard work again on the streets phase.
Yeah, now they got to clear all the high ground out. They got to poke them out, but they did start it off in the right way, playing a little peekaboo, finding them in the cubby there, and now they're going to be putting the pressure on. Foliage going to be dropping a little low, but ultimates are almost online as Poppy's trying to keep everyone up. Foliage doing a great job staying alive, using cover. Nano was put out onto Tizguy. Now it's the Brig trying to hold the front line as Seb is going to be popping the Primal, jumping right in, splitting the team up. High Noon is popped, trying to take Seb low. He does. He's going to have to get out of there, but that's not going to stop Foliage jumping in. You've got 2 monkeys to deal with, putting the damage down. Brigitte's not going to have it. Poppy finds the pick while all that was going on. Sam is going to go down, so a lot of damage down for Connecticut. Going to have to be turning this around with just the rally. Not going to be enough, as Poppy's rally did bring enough value, clearing it all out with the Diva Bomb. Now it's a struggle for UCONN. They're just backing up, and Nels is going to go down. That was a beautiful fight for Rochester there.
Here we go. Good team fight for RIT. And I think good pick on Anna as well. I actually thought Connecticut were going to go back in there for a second. It looked like Sam was hungry for, but not the case. That was good from RIT though. I think though that they made it a little bit difficult for themselves. You know, having to do street phase twice practically, right? You know, it was like that was Nimbani point B on hard mode, and I've said previously Nimbani point B may as well not exist. And here we are on point C. One of the more dynamic points on Nimbani, not the most dynamic, not as dynamic as point today, but going into point C, look at the ultimate, it's probably fairly equal in the mid fight, but Connecticut have a small advantage if they play their proactive play style, and getting before RIT here, especially into the backlines, they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, your boy Wings is definitely going to want to stop these double support ults coming online, but it's not going to stop the Nano already coming out. Your boy Wings is going to be jumping on the Brig, but she is super close to rally. Poppy needs to find it. Foliage finds the first pick, but Poppy doesn't get away from the pulse bomb as it does get the picks, and UCONN is going to just be jumping in with maximum aggression to find all of these kills, and the stagger on the Anna just going to stand there because she knows it's over.
It was good team up. UConn used their early ult advantage in the team fight, and just as a natural repercussion of that, RIT in the next 2 fight, at least at the start of it, are going to have some better ultimates for themselves online. It's how they use them. It's going to be important. Poppy's rally is the one I want to highlight. They need to use this early in the team fight, get an early and armor advantage, and they've got to do something with it. Potentially get into their backline with their Winston, and then if something goes wrong, I mean, you've got Primal as a backup. So just play more aggressive in this early team fight with this rally, because if they wait too long, Disguise is going to have a rally of their own for Connecticut.
And it does look like Tizguys is going to get that rally up and online. Not sure if they're going to use it right away or not, but irrelevant right now as your boy Wings getting a lot of pressure put on the front line. Nelsie going to be finding the pick onto Pines, so that is going to be a big pick for Rochester. But we do have the duplicate coming out, so we might have double Diva Bombs onto the point here pretty soon. I mean, it's right there. You can feel it few meters away. Bomb's going to be coming out from both Foliage and Viz soon here. And the Nano is going to be on Seb. Seb getting pushed away by the rally from Tizguy. Not going to be enough to keep him away, though. A helpful Fox. Seb going down is massive there. Bomb finds nothing. Rochester in a bit of a scramble. They got to find the kills here. And the Diva Bombs get to find Foliage and Storm both going down. And that is going to cap it for Rochester. They are done and out right now. And UConn finds a way to hold it off in the end.
But RNT had some spells there that was better. It was better. You know, there were a couple of team fights where they identified Connecticut's win conditions, kind of waited it out, nullified those, and then used their own. Maybe not to the greatest extent, but it was all right. It was better from RIT, and they were a little bit closer to Connecticut in that game, but Connecticut were strong throughout. They were pretty good. One mistake that I would call from Connecticut is I thought they should have used their rally as well earlier in that last team fight. That was just a bit of a mess, to be honest, between both teams. I think Poppy should have used her rally instantly, because obviously we knew ult tracking wise, you probably guess that Disguise is maybe 60-70 to rally, or at least halfway if you were being just guessing at ult tracking wise. And so you want to use your rally early before that rally is online. Didn't happen. It was a weird last team fight, but you can't win it either way.
Interesting to note, by the way. I know we were saying, especially at the end, Rochester did need to move faster. But the interesting thing about all of the winning team fights for Rochester is they were a little slower. They waited for the duplicate, and then when the duplicate came online, they definitely, jumped in and made it happen. So, definitely a good transition for them to figure it out. I think they're starting to find their groove, right? It was pretty dominant for UConn in the last map, and now we have Nubani way closer than it was. But that does mean that we have Hanamura coming up next. But before we do get to that action to find out if Rochester can turn this around for the reverse sweep, we are going to take a bit of a break. Don't forget to join us on the flip end. We'll see you in a minute.
In the previous series, but the duplicate onto Diva just ends up being so remarkable.
Welcome back to our action-packed series as we do have UConn up 2-0 on Rochester Institute. Now, Ocean, we're moving on to Hanamura, right? We've seen a bit from both teams. Obviously, UConn has come out victorious so far. Any potential here, if RIT can clean it up a bit, do they have a shot?
I mean, if they clear up everything, then yeah, they've got a good chance because then they'll be on UConn's level, right? UConn's been good, right? They've been active, making good decisions. I really like UConn's decision making. So if RIT can clean up their decision making, can actually set up ultimates, get value out of those ultimates, have some sort of active playstyle or reactive playstyle, and play some good Overwatch and improve their mechanics, then yeah, they've got a shot.
That seems like a pretty short list for RIT to find a
That's
way.
the half-end version of the list.
That's the half-end version. All right. Well, I can tell that we definitely, both of us are in agreement right now that UConn is definitely looking like the favorites coming into Hanamura. But I got a little bit of a feeling in lower stomach, right, that if RIT can find a way to bring this back, it'll be off the back of their tank play. Because I think that Viz and Seb have done a good job of initiating, but the coordination hasn't been there. So, and I'm looking at them to lead their team, right? And especially in this first choke.
I can see how RIT get, results off of their tank line. I think that it's an okay tank line. It's a middle of the pack, right? They've got 5-5 record, right? They're probably middle of the pack team. But the timing is all over the show. Seb will go in for an engagement, and Viz will be bringing the back line into a team fight at one point, and then Pines will be off on a different map, and Foliage will be in the back line. Or sometimes Foliage will be the front line inside of Seb somehow. It's just weird. Their DPS aren't bad players. They have some good moments, right? Barnes has got a couple kills in this series. Foliage got played well in the Echo and got a nice double barrage as well, right? They're all right, but the timing of this team is just strange to me.
Yeah, and now it's an opportunity to clean up some of those off plays, right? We do see the teleporter strat coming in, the wall going to come out in order to separate the teams a little bit. But it doesn't seem like RIT was too convinced by this, as it looks like a lot of the damage is being pumped in. Seb going to drop dangerously low, and there's a boop off the map for Viz. The Baby Diva didn't quite make it, but Foliage, woo, there we are. There it is. He gets 3 there, 2 with the boops. Now we got a res coming through, and that does look like it's going to be a nice hold for RIT. And the initial comment of not intimidated came through, and that was a pretty clean fight.
Good fight from Foliage. That's what Foliage could do, right? Foliage is a good player, right? So why don't we play to their strengths, right? They're good at Far, they're good at Echo. Why don't we play spam-based golds, right? Why don't we do that? Why don't we just play a composition where they have to walk into us, they have to walk through a Pharah, really annoying Pharah, so they have to play extremely fast or extremely slow. Force something out of your opponent, play into this, because this is what your DPS are good at.
Yeah, and we see UConn immediately trying to figure out a way to break this with the Pharah up in the sky with Pines, spamming the choke. Going to be swapping to double hit scan. Cassidy and the Soldier 76 going to be being swapped to, but an immediate spam comes through the choke, and that's going to be Nelsie going down right away. Your boy Wings trading back, but advantage for RIT right now as they still have map control and they still have air superiority with no real angles in order to take them down. Going to be Derek trying to find something on the side of the map here. Got to be careful for this boop off. Going to be met by Pines, and it's going to be both DPS chasing him down, and a pause as something must have went wrong, but this is still looking pretty strong for RIT.
I guess it's time to talk about RIT and their improvements in UConn. And
I knew it!
It's time. They did something good, right? Well, when we've seen Foliage at their best, right? They've been really good poking, right? Playing from afar. The engagements from RIT have been shocking in this series, right? So why don't we just not engage, right? Why don't we just not engage? Why don't we make them walk onto us? Why don't we play some spam compositions? The problem is they can't do that when they attack, but on their defense, yeah, sure, that's a good idea. UConn, though, this is not their best Overwatch by any means, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, we swapped a double hit scan here. How on earth are these hit scans going to get through the choke? To be honest, they're not, unless it's going to be the best Matrix burst of a lifetime from Mazdark, and they're going to get through the choke and then get to the top right. You get some nice positioning. Very unlikely. Why not just play Tracer? Why not play something fast that gets onto the other team quickly, and then the Pharah has less time to get that actual value? Why not do that?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the things I was noticing, right? Even if McCree makes it through that choke, him and Soldier just stuck in a tiny room, and you want them to what? right? Like that's where
Kill
I
the
like
Farah.
what right. Kill the Farah from where you can't see her. But I do like what Rochester is doing. They're making UConn execute. Right? If you're gonna do this, execute, right? And we do have a little bit of an update here of why the pause came through. UConn is currently having a fire alarm go off. So they obviously have to, leave the building. It's the whole process, getting everything checked and make sure they're safe. And that's a huge concern. So they're obviously going to be, taking a little bit of time. So that does mean that we are going to be taking a little bit of break as well. I mean, RIT obviously making it tough for UConn. Don't go anywhere because it does look like this is the start of something special for RIT. We'll see you on the flip side.
Quite, yeah, you got 5 ultimates at your disposal. You can't use too many. But
That's
that teleport is a little interesting.
Just a little bit, and the bomb is does secure the turret. Oh, there's a remake kill of Archimedes. I love to see it. That's absolutely beautiful. The self-destruct doesn't get enough, but that's okay. We do get a one remake kill. We did not get a touch. That's a good old-fashioned. Oh no, that's a C9. It wasn't a one fight, but it was a winnable one for Southern Utah. Tragedy had struck.
It was definitely at least a stallable fight, maybe even a winnable fight. You had resources available. A rough way to get your first loss at EGF, as Wichita State, they completely welcome them now through EGF. You got the win last week against Ryder. You felt the good half. You got the bad half today as you get swept by the Shocker to move to 8-3 this season. And now 4-2 in the Central, gonna hand Southern Utah their first Central loss. And Wichita State, man, they're dangerous. They could be a dark horse team if they get the juice going against a Colorado, against a UT, because they truly are one of the best teams in the league when they get it going.
Yeah, and we mentioned this in the previous series.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And it looks like we took care of the fire alarm. Everyone's safe. Everyone's getting back in their seats to continue our very surprising Hanamura so far. RIT is doing a wonderful job, and as you'll see when we come back, they are cleaning up the last fight here. Ocean, tell me what RIT is doing great.
they are not engaging because they're not good at it, right? You know, they're doing something that, you know, they're actually are good at, right? You know, they're forcing UCONN to make decisions. They're forcing UCONN to potentially make wrong decisions. I think that's actually something that's really important in Overwatch, especially at like lower tiers. Even at high level, tier 3, tier 2, you still see this. If you force your opponents to make decisions, then they're going to make more mistakes, right? If you don't have to make a decision, you're not going to make a mistake.
Yeah, and it was a really good pick there onto Pines. Obviously going to get rezzed up, but then using the Diva Bomb there when no one's around to follow it up, nor does it have any potential, is going to just spell doom and gloom for the team. And there's Viz going straight in. Seb finally gets a nice double kill with the Earth Shatter. And it's just all RIT right now, and it is just tough stuff for Connecticut to find their way in, even when seemingly Rochester is out of position.
Can we please pick Tracer, please, Connecticut? Like, genuinely. We have went from the Cassidy to an Ashe. They're essentially the same thing without a Mercy, really. Like, what am I looking at? Like, we couldn't get through the choke with the 2 hit scans before. Why are we going to try it again? Why not go for a Tracer? Why not be a little bit more aggressive? Get onto the enemy team's backline. Here comes a Riptire.
Riptire is going to be looking to get big value here, and it does. Both main tank and support are going to go down, and it's everyone for themselves now as it's just spread around and try to get a pick before you go down. And now there's only a minute left. UConn is scratching and clawing for any advantage they can find.
Right, and this is bad for UConn, right? Because look, right, RIT, they're going to use their Valkyrie presumably early to try and build up their other ultimates like Earth Shatter and Barrage. They also have a self-destruct kind of zone out Connecticut. As they're just going to try and get to the point. This is going to be weird. Zol and Samo really with this Tac Visor.
This is so disjointed right now. What's going on? The Visor does end up finding another, and Derek going in. This was not handled incredibly well by Rochester as people are going down left and right. Pines is going to be building up to that tire, but it's not looking like it's going to be in time as it's just your boy Wings swinging free on the point. Not quite done yet, though. UConn still has a few members of Rochester to take down as Pines is slowly building his way up. Going to be getting healed up by Poppy, so there is still a chance as that is going to be the point ticking over for UConn. Nobody was able to get the touch. And yeah, just run straight at him was, I guess, the strat.
Yeah, okay, going into this next team fight, UConn just going to go all the way. They're going for the snowball. Good kill on both the DPS players. They've been caught. I'm not exactly sure how, but they have, and that's the important thing is Connecticut, look, the snowball both points of Hanamura.
Yeah, and the bomb's not going to find very much there, but Pines and the Nano going to be coming out. Window's going to be dropped as well. Pines needs to find an angle. Diva getting demeched even though the Nano was on her. Not enough healing coming their way. Pines still has not pulled this Riptire. Needs to find a good point to use it. And Farrah Barrage not going to find anything, but everyone is put incredibly low. Pines still holding on to this Riptire. This must be being called out. They are saving it for the next fight, and it does look like the stabilization comes through. Enough damage put down and enough kills caught. They hold.
It's good. Good for RIT. Well, probably the toughest team fight for them to win so far. They lost both their DPS early. Dealt with it well. They used Earth Shatter, I guess, for time, and it ended up working really well for RIT. They're going to have a Riptire here. That's either going to give them time or an early kill. I don't really want to see them save that for later in the team fight. If they need it in a team fight, they got to use it early and try and force Connecticut on the back foot. You got to stay active because if you give Connecticut an inch, they'll take them on because their decision-making skills, apart from what Amara points out, have been really good this series.
Yeah, and they're going to have very fast fingers and a vigilant awareness to know where this tire's coming from as it's being ripped. Going to be looking for big value. Pines only gets the ammo while falling himself, but the sleep going to be found onto Sam. Going to be going down right away as Poppy gets the res off, so that is a 1-for-0 trade, even though it was a very nicely done by Sam. Getting caught by that sleep dart is always tragic, and it's going to be the cleanup for the rest of RIT, and we're getting back to crunch time, but the ultimates are built up for Connecticut, so this next fight is going to be big for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this next fight's going to play out. I think, honestly, the more proactive team is probably going to win it. I mean, RIT have more options available to them earlier in the fight, so you'd imagine it's easier for them to be more active, right? Because they've got access to multiple high grounds. Connecticut using the Bob early, though. I like that play.
Yeah, the Bob putting pressure on the point, going to be used in a very nice way as we see the slam coming down. Your boy Wings able to survive, and Seb is the one that gets taken out. And now it's just a scramble to get onto the point and stall for time for these tanks. Viz going to go down as well. High Noon pop, but immediately taken out. Thanks to the window, the damage was there. And UConn barely, but does find a way to cap second point on Hanamura.
I'm gonna deep dive into the last attack from Connecticut because it's really good. So you saw that they were walking up the high ground for a moment there, Connecticut. That I don't think they ever really had an intention of doing that. I think they knew that RIT had Nano and they have a Reinhardt on that high ground. That they didn't really have an option to go up onto the top right. But going top right and then going to main, the nice little switcheroo, nice little bait was really strong because that meant that RIT, they saw them going top left. So there's a Reinhardt in the position to capitalize with an early nano boost if Connecticut walk left. If RIT see them go main, they'll have their Reinhardt sitting just above where Connecticut actually just walked into the team fight, kind of like a mini choke, the actual entrance to Hanamura point B. That's where Seb would have been sitting, and then early nano burst. As soon as Connecticut walked in, they would have probably been met with a very, very angry blue and, technically bright red on Connecticut screen Reinhardt, right?
Yep.
And that would have been much more beneficial. But Seb can't get over to that where they wanted to set up for that sort of engagement because of the bait. They were top right, then they were mid. Much better from Connecticut in that last team fight. Connecticut, good decision making. That has been good throughout the series. Nil still on point side. Let's see if they can make up for it with their defense on Hanamura to clean up the series.
Ocean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You remember that feeling I was talking about when this map first started? Ooh, it's getting a lot stronger because they have set up a nice little win con here. I mean, they have potential to cap with a snowball push. You know, a lot of time in the time bank. You know, especially against UCONN. That would be huge for the momentum, and they are going to TP straight on the point. Does look like UCONN was ready for it, and they do end up getting Poppy on the first kill there. And Seb trying to trade it back, not going to be able to find it. Does get a knockoff though. Did not see that coming, but it's not going to be enough to open it all up as your boy Wings is going to find a way to swing through. But that's two good trades, and if they hurry up, they might be able to get back.
Going into this next team fight, no real ultimate to speak of. Usually we'd be talking about metrics going into the next team fight, but let's talk about the difference between the two Reinhardts, because your boy Wings looked a lot more prepared. Like, even Seb got a knockoff, got a nice boop onto the Lucy. That's probably 200 ultimate points, so pretty good ult percentage, but your boy Wings still closer to the Earth Shatter. Seems like Connecticut getting a little bit more value out of the Reinhardt right now, probably because they were well set up for that push.
Yeah, and this time it's a little bit cleaner of an engage there for Rochester. Got most everybody in there, and the turret set up with a nice wall. Now we just see the mid fight as both teams are trading. It does seem like both MOs are going to go down, so now the real fight starts, and Nelsie's going to be the first one to find a victim as Viz goes down, and it's another nice wall separating the heals from the tank, and it's just beautiful melee from both sides. But Samo going to be finding way more value. They are going to commit the beat here. Not sure I would have invested beat for a losing team fight, but maybe they're just trying to draw some ults out, and that's going to be a reset.
Here we go. Next team fight. This is the big one for RIT. Last time we saw them play kind of Reinhardt versus Reinhardt was really interesting because they were also using a Mei. They were trying to get value out of ultimates like Blizzard. I mean,
There's no way she gets
going
this,
for
by
the
way.
remake kill. There's no way they get anything here. Surely not. Esther, okay, they had the ammo for it as well. That's crazy. They get paid, but they're still gonna die.
That's
I don't
super
think they need to do that,
disrespectful.
UCONN.
Yeah.
I think that was silly. I think that's gonna throw away point time.
Yes, it will, and I think that was super disrespectful to your point, and now they're just going to try to save it with Window and do as much damage as they can as the Blizzard does get off with no Diva being there. Now it's just going to be everyone frozen up, and it's just going to be Rochester running through this point, and what a play by Derek trying to find a mech kill. They even used Immo to do it. Nelsie's going to find a pick on the backside, but I'm just mind blown by that.
I think it's silly. I think it's extremely silly because they invested the self-destruct as well, because even if they died right, they're going to potentially need that ultimate. They use the Blizzard as well, Connecticut, and they needed Esdirk for that team fight, right? They knew that RIT had the Blizzard. 100% they knew RIT had the Blizzard. There's no way they didn't know. You need the Diva to stop that Blizzard getting value, because RIT have struggled to get value with Blizzard previously in this series. Very silly from Connecticut. It's cost them a team fight. It's cost them an objective, but will it cost them even more?
And now Derek back to the old ways of finding Poppy on the backside with a bit of a crossfire coming out from Sigma. The swap did come through. Going to be a little bit tougher to play around this Sigma with the crossfire now, and it's decision time for Rochester. They need to pick a way. Where do they want to enter? Where do they want to fight from? That's going to be the big deciding factor in most of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, RIT at least have a couple of ultimates here. They've got the Ant Matrix, which will get them into the team fight, and then a self-destruct, I mean, gives them a little space in said team fight. That's an interesting teleport. I think you're just going to be forced straight off of this high ground. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
why
and-
we're teleporting straight onto a Reinhardt.
Yeah, it's teleporting straight onto the Reinhardt. Yeah, the flashbang didn't get no value, but the kill still came through, and even there, it's gonna be just oh no, Nels a little aggressive there. I don't think anyone else was following, but yeah, just going right into your boy Wings. What's going on there? That was that was something.
It was a weird decision. Surely you teleport away from the Reinhardt so they can't swing.
You would
Strange.
think so.
But,
Yeah,
but
you
whatever.
would think so.
I guess RIT have another Blizzard online, so but providing Asdark doesn't do anything silly again, right? You know, Connecticut have responses. They can flux the May, force an Icebox, and the Blizzard can't be used. They can put a shield in front of the May and make sure that they're limited. They can do so many different things against this Blizzard, against this May. Looks like RIT is going to go to point and... no, they're trying that again.
They clearly think something is there that they can take advantage of that we are not seeing. And maybe after this fight here, we can try to evaluate what they think. Is it just because your boy Wings might be alone, or because that is not what
Your
we
boy
think
Wings
should
has
be
got
happening?
both their supports, and
That's what I'm saying.
Swing it though, like, oh, a bit weird. I mean, if it was Asdark on the Sigma, and they're trying to isolate the Sigma, then that's good because that helps then Foilers get that Blizzard off, right? And also Sigma's more likely to be isolated. Sigma and Zarya are kind of easy heroes to isolate compared to Divas and all. Thanks, so maybe you can identify that. But why aren't we just teleporting onto Reinhardt and letting him swing at us? It's just weird.
Yeah, it is a bit weird, but now we are going to take a little bit different of a fight here, going up the stairs of Doom. You know, this is where Reinhardts get paid their bread and butter, as both are going to have Shatter online. Obviously, your boy Wings is going to have it a little earlier, but that is going to be easy Derek going down. As we said, being alone is an issue in the crossfire, and that's a lot of trading coming through for Rochester. They do need to find their way to the point. Bob is going to be committed, trying to hold down the point. Blizzard also going to be coming out. A lot of ults just being yeeted right at there. Sam with his down, but no value coming through, and it's just his guy, and the rest of the respawns coming in. It's going to be a Blizzard for Rochester, clearing off the point, trying to get that first tick, doing a great job of stalling. Nice boop off. Going to be trying to find his guy, and he does go down. So now it's just a helpful Fox trying to hold it down for the point, and Sam finding picks that they need. Not quite enough yet. The Flux is going to force people off the point, but it's the MO saving lives. Now it's
nice
just
shot.
a long, scrappy fight, and it's just too much. And UCONN, the respawns are coming in, and that's going to be them cleaning it up and stabilizing.
You know what? That was better from RIT though, because we walked onto the Sigma who was isolated. It was good, and we needed to kill the Sigma because that meant it was easier to get a big Blizzard. Really good. That's a good improvement from RIT that we've seen to this series. Good fight planning, isolating the correct target and getting a kill on the correct target. They probably should have cut the point off that. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't. It was a good Gorilla Clux in the end, I guess, from Asdark, but I think RIT probably should have cleaned that up. At least they have a Dragon Strike though for this team fight. Prepay, they can use that early, get a little bit of space. They've got options here to try and bring us into extra rounds of Hanamura.
And I like that, clearing out the high ground, especially for Pines. Find different angles, get a little bit of damage down, and the Doom's gonna go straight in, trying to find the first pick of the fight. Didn't quite find enough, as Pines ends up finding his guy. Moira being down means a lot less healing for Connecticut, and there it is, the impact as you saw. Poppy gonna be dropping the window, and all the damage and healing gonna be put onto Seb. Oh no, nothing found from the pulse bomb. Now it's just a brawl on point as Sam trying to stall it out. And now if they can just clean up all of these staggers, it could be Rochester taking us into an overtime bout. And it does look like they're going to be able to kind of pull it off. Yes, Seb finds the shatter. It's going to be what they need. It's 1-136. Rochester finds a way.
Rochester, I can't believe I'm saying it. This has been a good map from them. They played into their strengths on their first point defense, and were really good. They forced Connecticut to make decisions. UConn only really got both objectives because of a really nice switcheroo from top right to mid, and RIT really couldn't use their ultimates to play proactively against that. But RIT on their offense, those last two team fights were good. I mean, you could also say UConn would be celebrating a win right now if Asda wasn't a silly sausage. But going into the rest of the half, like Rochester had to, they were good on point B. Their offenses were really good. I mean, they probably could have capped at the fight before, but whatever. That Dragon Strike was good to clear out the high ground, and the rest of the plan was good as well. RIT's last two team fights on that Hanamura offense were absolutely awesome, and if they do more of that, this series isn't done.
Yeah, this series could go, the whole distance like I thought it would from the very beginning. And this feeling is now a little bit of nervousness. I don't know what happened to me. I'm starting to feel a little nervous because of how slow Rochester plays it. And I think this bodes well for UConn. They play at a speed that we've been seeing. When they're on, they're on. But, Rochester has found ways in. So now we get to see into this overtime push how fast they can go. And they do have the Symmetra, so they can be going pretty quick. As we see Nelsie on Ash, going to be looking to put a lot of that spread damage down. Same with Sam, with a bit of the the mines coming in, trying to slow their roll. And I do like this spread setup, and they are going to take a bit of a different angle. They're just going to be trying to take the high ground, but your boy Wings finds Storm right away, and this is going to have to be an immediate back off. Try to get out of there and reset for another fight.
The plus side is they died so fast that they're gonna get another team fight. If the Diva keeps the mech, okay, Viz can just walk into spawn and remech. Don't walk into spawn, Poppy. Stay alive. Okay, all good. Right. Alright, team.
Yep.
They will have another team fight. They lost. They sucked enough to where they can get another team fight, and that's all right. Let's get into the next team fight. Going into where are they going to teleport this time? How are they going to get access to the point? It might have to be straight towards the point. I don't think they have time otherwise. And if they teleport anywhere else, Esder is going to have the gravitic flash.
And what a bait. They put the teleporter up, and to see the focus going in on it, and it's 2 quick kills coming out, but 2 quick kills traded right back, and now it's anyone's game. Your boy Wings dropping low. There's no supports for Connecticut. Storm is still in there. Got to be trying to heal up the team the best they can. It is just Seb slowly trying to stay alive, and that's the first pick. That's huge. That's going to give them a win condition here, even if they do end up losing this fight, as it does look like it's just Foliage onto the point, and now it's onto Pines. Can they get the touch? They do get the touch. It's going to keep the overtime going. Recall is going to go through, but not enough blinks to touch back, but a win condition set, Ocean, and that's what they were looking for.
Not bad. I mean, that's probably the best that the RIT could have hoped for after that first team fight. They had a good plan going into that fight. RIT are starting to warm up into this series. Unfortunately, for RIT, it's way too late. They should have done this at the start of the series. They should have had better fight plans. They should have been better at their setups 100%. I still don't think their setups have been too great until these last 3 team fights. This is better from RIT, and this is technically winnable. They've got a tick on the board, and
Winnable.
realistically, 1 minute 36 to hold a tick of Hanamura points out. I've seen better holes as well. So yeah, this is okay for RIT.
And it's kind of funny. UConn's bringing out the Bastion teleporter strat, and I actually think it is directly in response to the Pharah and the Junkrat gameplay that we saw in their first defense. How hard it was to break. I think they're going to try to catch him off guard.
I mean, I don't think it's the way to do it though, Prepaid, because like Bastion, how are you going to set up a Bastion when you're getting spammed by a Junkrat and a Pharah? It's just not going to happen really, unless Dirk is cheating and has the infinite defense matrix. I mean, maybe. We've got to investigate UCONN for that, but no, that's not what's happening here. I guess they're just trying Symmetra and Bastion. Maybe they think this is the way to go, try and catch them off guard, as you said, but I don't think it's the good way to go, and I think Connecticut might be playing with their food a little bit.
Yeah, and Connecticut we have seen them be a little bit hubris in some of their plays that they're trying to make, and this is going to be the deciding play. They only have 1:20, and they're going to do the teleporter right away. Immo's going to come right down, but Nelsie finds the first pick, and they did catch Pines off guard, being up there all by him is lonesome, and now it's just going to be a little bit of rotations coming through for UConn. Going to try to get set up on this point with the Pharah spam. No one's touched just yet. They're taking it nice and slow. I like that the tanks are contesting right now, but a lot of damage is going to be being pumped through from this Bastion. They are going to have to find picks here relatively quickly. Otherwise, the sustained damage from Bastion is going to be too much. And then there it is. Too much. The shield goes down, and it's Seb going down next. Foliage going to be following, and now it's just all over as it's Bastion dominated right now. Nano going to come out. Not enough. Storm going down. Pines picks up the kill at the end. Seb got res in the middle of that fight. It is looking like RIT pulling this back a little bit. It's 3 versus 2. It could be possible, but no, Nelsie was on the point the whole time, putting in the damage with the Bastion ult, and it's UConn slowly but surely finding a way to take Hanamura away.
Yeah, I mean, but that was risky. I think they only got it because Foliage wasn't able to build up the barrage, right? Foliage was like 88% of barrage when they went down. If they don't win that team fight, say 3 seconds, if they win that team fight 3 seconds later and get that push, then they're still going to die to Foliage's barrage. Probably. They don't really have the tools to deal with it. So, realistically, I still think it was silly. from UConn to run the Symmetra Bastion. Why did they not try something that they're good at? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
I
I'll be
don't like
honest.
how they played it on Hanamura.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. UConn, we talked about it last week, right? About how professional everything looked, with teams taking everyone seriously. I'm not going to lie. It seemed like UConn was definitely flexing a little bit, trying to pull off some plays that didn't need to happen. And, that bodes trouble down the line. If you think that you can just kind of run some of these teams over, and we were predicting, RIT is, they come off a win, but they are struggling. They're 5-5 in the season. I mean, they could still take maps off you, and they could still turn series around. So you got to take everyone seriously, no matter what the record is. But in the end, UConn does end up taking it, and we will be having ya boy Wings on with an interview. So I can't wait to ask. I have quite a few questions. I'm sure Ocean does as well, with some of how those team fights went. But don't go anywhere. We will be back in a few minutes with that interview, and I can't wait to talk to him. We'll see y'all in a second. And as promised, we have your boy Wings here from the winning team UConn, Swift 3-0. Your boy, first, I have to ask, tell me about the loss last week and how you guys transitioned it to a win this week. What were some of the changes you made, if any?
Yeah, this entire split's been really weird for us because we lost Pascal and then we've been shifting roles around. Delaware was, I think, a big eye-opener for us on like what we kind of wanted to do is, we moved Nick back or Nellis back to DPS, moved Easy Dirk to off tank, moved his guys flex support. I think it was just like, obviously you don't want to lose any games, but it's like you can learn a lot more from a loss than when you win. So I think losing to Delaware is blessing in disguise for us at the end of the day because we kind of figured out what we want to do now.
Yeah, it's nice to have a nice turning point and look back, right? See what you can improve on. Speaking of improve, I couldn't help but notice a bit of trolling with a little bit of a DVD mech trying to get the remech kill there. What was the calls? I just have to know. I can't let that one slide. We saw you guys invest heavily with cooldowns on that one as well. I mean, that was clearly a team call. What was going through everyone's minds there?
I mean, we just sometimes do that, just kind
Okay.
of see if we can get it. Evan, he called it, and we were like, there's like a second we're like, what? And I was like, what, let's just go for it. Why not? And it worked out in the end. Like I mean, that's not the worst possible thing. If he did it at the beginning of the game, it might have been a problem. But we were up to we gapped point before that. It's like you may as well just try it.
No, I mean, you guys were playing incredibly well in Ocean. I always enjoy, if you're gonna, be in a EGF like this, have some fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question about you, Carter. You mentioned you lost Pascal, and that probably, as I said, took a hit on your goals for the rest of the season. I have asked you previously, but what are UCONN's goals for the rest of the season, especially after losing to Delaware last week? That kind of hits you hard in the standings. What are the goals for UCONN this season?
I mean, like I said, was it 2 weeks ago? It's just building a foundation. Like I said, very young team. Obviously, you want to go as far as you can, and that's all we're going to do this season. Because if we build a good base, return the same 5 or 6 players, come back next year, we're only going to get better.
I like it. Good long-term goal.
It's just it's basically just enjoying the season. You're playing collegiate Overwatch, like you're playing a video game, you're meeting people, you get to do stuff. Why not? Just have fun with it.
I like it. And your opponents today, how did you feel you matched up to them? Obviously, you kind of dominated the series 3-0. Honamura was a bit closer on a couple of occasions, but how did you find the series today?
I mean, RIT was, we kind of viewed them as like the tier above like Cincinnati and like Villanova, kind of in the Eastern Conference. But they have some pretty good players. I mean, Seb's a pretty good Reinhardt. It's very weird for me not to just absolutely MTD everyone at this point with like if you've seen most of the split. So like he was a pretty good player. Whoever was playing their Pharah and Junk on that Hanamura map, they were doing really well. I mean, their supports were pretty good too. I'm surprised their BAP avoided us when we ran into their spawn. It's like they're like you look at their ranks and it's like a lot of them are like gold to diamond, but that's doesn't really matter sometimes. I think is you can see a lot of just good individual plays. It's if they piece it together, then they're gonna be a good team, and that's what I think most teams around here are doing. Is everyone's just piecing it together now, and now it's gonna get really good.
Understood. Good answers.
Yeah, and your boy Wings, we have a message coming straight to you from a helpful fox saying, "Whoa, that's what Dev looks like. Hi, Dev." So that's a message for you.
Tim just joined the split, so he has no clue what I look like.
That's funny. Well, it's good. Now you know. Now you know, Fox. There you go. But your boy, everybody you want to shout out, call out for anything?
I'm gonna shout.
You can take all the credit.
I'm gonna shout out my mom. She calls me every day or every time before we play, and she doesn't know a single thing about Overwatch. I said this last split too. She still doesn't understand a single thing about Overwatch, but she still asks and she talks to me about it for like 15-20 minutes.
That is
not bad.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, your boy, thank you so much for stopping by and shedding some light on some of the plays and how y'all are feeling. And thanks to your mom for always watching. That's awesome and calling. But we want to thank you for stopping in and good luck with the rest of your season.
Yeah, thank you.
And Ocean, today we had 2 really good games, some really nice interviews, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a step away here and let someone else fill in for me, and it's gonna be Sir Waltham coming in to take my spot. But Ocean will be sticking around with y'all for Villanova and St. John's. So don't go anywhere on the back end of this break. We are gonna have Sir Waltham and Ocean casting over Villanova and St. John's, looking to get back on track for both teams after dropping last week's games. We'll see you on the flip side.